Hello, everyone. Let's see, I just see David here, and then Rev took first, second, and third. Like the greedy bastard he is. But yes, how is everyone today? Might be a very short stream because there's not that many submissions to show us what you got. But you shall see. Very slow. Not. Okay. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 submissions. That's not a lot. Whatever. If it's a short stream, it's a short stream. That's fine by me. That just means I get to work on the video more. That's it. Almost dropped my water. But yes, it is Monday. The day of days. Also, Ickbard is not going to be able to be here because he is doing other stuff right now. Okay. But let me start loading up the... sorry. Loading up the photos. Because it does look like this is going to be a really short stream. But how's everyone doing on this fine Monday morning? Is this just the same thing? Okay, no. Ugh. I went to train club on Saturday, and the thing that I put electronics in worked perfectly. Yippee. Only issue was there were some track work issues, so that needs to be fixed the next time I go. Hello, Patrick. I'm doing good. Just opening up photos right now for the show us what you got. Looks like we're gonna have one more submission, maybe. I see someone typing in the channel. We shall see. I'm doing. Hang on a second. I'm just check something. Something pressing. Maybe that's all it is. Yep, Rev is just in the Twitch chat. He's not actually here. Okay, so okay, we have another. Holy fuck! Jesus Christ! Well, looks like Lika and Ernie have some competition. Jesus Christ. For what was just posted, my god. Cyborg furry. I should add more images to the back because I do have, I think, a couple more GIFs I can throw back there. Whatever. Clearly I must cameo. Should I roll another d6 to see? Do I want to let David in on this? Not home. Okay. Never mind then. No need to roll a d6. Had to go to the DMV. Ew, disgusting. Disgusting. Going to the DMV. Okay, but anyways, it's time for the ninth installment of
Show Us What You Got.
You can join later. I don't think this is gonna be a very long stream, just let you know. There's probably gonna be less than an hour by the looks of it. Just didn't get that many submissions this week. Okay, but let me pull this up, make sure it's also pulling up the right thing. No, it's not. Everyone just saw my Twitch panel. Are we now? Yes, there we go. Hello, Ernie. How you doing? Been too busy to paint ye. Okay. Let's see. So first up, we have Mortarion from the XD Lord. Finished Mortarion. Scheme I practiced made him look really good. One advice on the toxic base. They don't look great, so help is appreciated. Okay, so let's see. So looking at the base, Mortarion itself looks pretty damn good. Although there are some areas maybe put a little bit of shadows in. And the highlights are a bit thick. A little bit thick on Mortarion, but the weathering I can see looks good. Nylic oxide might be a bit heavy too. Home from work ye. I still haven't heard back from that job I applied for, unfortunately. I think it might have been a nepotism hire. Yay. Yes, so looking at the base. So the thing I'm seeing right now is this is reading as cake frosting, unfortunately. Is my thing. Right now, to me, this is reading as cake frosting. You might need to... I would maybe think, depending on what you're wanting to do, because if you want it to be like my Skaven that I did, what you become a worker for the state, become... You're forgetting I am disabled. Can't exactly do that, Tony. There's nothing wrong with it. They just said they don't like the way the base looks. Because when you look at the miniature, which is painted beautifully, and then you look at the base looks kind of eh. This is the problem. Because when you look at it, it doesn't look as good compared to the Nurgling or Mortarion himself. So let's look at some more photos of possibly telling. This is another reminder, you guys. You don't need to hold the miniature. Put it on the desk. Yeah, the base room could also be cleaner too. The thing is, like, we're trying to think of how to make it not look like frosting. So you could do is you could put some darker contrast in the recesses, like how I did for my Skaven, and then you make the ridges the brightest part. If we're gonna do that, you could try that. But what I would do first before you do that is I would experiment with that on a spare base, maybe. So that could help with that. And then also, it looks like you kind of tried to do OSL too in some areas. Probably shouldn't have done that, because you also looks like you got the texture up there too. Gloss varnish over the sledge would help. Yeah, gloss varnish would help because I think they use matte varnish. But it's like from afar, you can kind of see the difference in shades of the ridges. Maybe go a bit brighter in some areas then. And then try gloss varnish. Again, we're trying to get rid of the cake-like texture. This is why usually if I ever do an experiment like this kind of stuff, what I usually do is I will take it to... Well, not... I'll do an experiment on a spare base that I have. It's always good to experiment before you actually try something. Let us forget we can angle the camera with a stationary object, yes. But I think probably just to fix it, you could... Again, you can try gloss varnish. Well, actually, yeah, gloss varnish, because I can see this area right here behind your fingers. And it looks a bit better because it's a bit glossier than it is on this, because this looks like... Oh, you know what this is probably? I think what might have happened is they might be using contrast medium. Good null. They're trying to go for a glowing sludge effect, so maybe not that. Plus, another thing they can do is if they did use contrast paint, do another layer of it, but thin it down. Because I am also seeing the base color that they originally had right here along the base and in some areas. So maybe putting a very thin down contrast that they used over it, or speed paint, whatever they used over it, would make it look a lot better. And then you hit it with gloss varnish, and then it should look great. Yes, otherwise it is a very nicely painted miniature. Looks very, very nice. Good job. Thank you for sharing.
Show us what you got.
Wrong one.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay, next up we have... I believe this is Liko. I can't see yet. No. It is. I need to see something. I need to make sure people didn't switch their names. Because some people do that and it's annoying. Scroll, 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 scroll. Scrolling up still. Scrolling up still. Still scrolling. Still scrolling. Okay, no, they didn't change the name. What? What do you mean? What is that supposed to mean? Okay, yeah, next up is Lacustra. Would like to get some feedback and critique on this Stern guy, but I'm proud of how the face came out. Yes, the face came out really well. I don't know, do stream? I don't know, is that what you mean? Continue streaming? I don't know. I don't know. Yes, the head is shifted. Sorry, I was just looking at some Discord stuff. Yes, it looks very, very good. Let's see. I don't know this. I think you might need to dust the miniature too. That miniature might need some dusting. Okay. Because there's a lot of microfibers all over it. Drilled barrels. Barrels not drilled. You see microfibers all over it under the paint too. So you might need to either wash your miniatures beforehand, or if that's cat hair, you might want to dust them off before you paint it or prime it. Because the camera reveals all and it is a bit distracting. But the face is painted very nicely. Highlights are pretty good. Some areas of paint, I can see the paint is a bit too thick in some areas, because I see brush marks. Good shading too. Base could probably use a bit of Nuln Oil, because it looks a little bit too samey. Purity Seal's looking pretty good. Ah, my back. Yes, face is also looking pretty good. I did not see some very nicely painted pupils. Wait a minute, did they also paint the brown? Does it look like they also painted the browns of the eyes to anyone else? It's a dust problem, yeah. It looks like they painted the browns of his eyes brown too. And then they have the little dots in the eye too. What the fuck? What the hell? This is a very nicely painted miniature though. You don't need to know how inferior a painting is. Yes. Oh yeah, the lens is also painted. That's pretty good too. There's some pretty good Space Marine. CCs. I don't either. It's not fair. I wish I could paint faces this well too. But yeah, overall this is a really good Space Marine. The only issue is just the dust and also this weird texture I'm seeing on it, which is either paint mark, like brush marks because you didn't thin it down well enough. Could also be the paint because it's white, but it's also on the blue panels too. I'm seeing it. Yeah, just dust or wash your miniatures before you paint them. Other than that, it is a very nicely painted Space Marine. Good job.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay, next up we have from Emperor's Least Favorite Child feedback. Okay, so I know this is supposed to be stylistic, but it feels like the paint's a bit too thick. Okay. Still needs to be dusted. Yeah, this is stylistic, but I feel like the paint is a bit too thick. I need to stretch a bit. Cape needs some highlights there too. Clean up the base rim. Again, for the love of God, you guys do not need to hold your miniatures. You can put them down and take photos with your phone. I feel like I should make it a rule now that if you're holding your miniature, I'm not going to look at it. Going forward. Leave the miniature on the desk. I take photos with that. You all have phones, right? Yes. So, I feel like the paint might be too thick in some areas. Is what it looks like. Because right here, then you have right here, because you don't have the original, the secondary highlight underneath it like you have in some other areas. So controlling that would be a bit better. You can take a picture once. Nice. You like the freehand modeling? No. Yeah, so for this, it looks like your paint's just a bit too thick, I think. Oh, and you're putting it on a bit too thick, too. Yeah, Cape needs highlights. I think the main problem is with this is just paint's a bit too thick and your highlights that you're attempting to do are a bit too inconsistent and not... Like, it feels like they're not in the correct placement either. No, Ickbard. He has, stuff to do he needs today. So, no, Ickbard. Other than that, the bases are very nicely done. It's just, again, paint needs to be a bit thinner, and highlights need to be a bit more consistent with the way they're placed, too. You know, Warmaster Titan episode. I have one. It's a really cool Titan. It's just... I don't know why, but like there's some... I don't know. There's like something I just don't like about it. Like there's some things I don't like about it. Like, I don't like how the armor plates are hanging. So I modified that, obviously, to not be hanging because it looked awful. And then... I don't know. It's just... I feel like it's weird without having, like, weapons on top, like, tertiary weapons like the Warlord has. It looks weird. I feel like it'd look a lot cooler that way, or just, like... I don't know. It's a neat Titan, just still doesn't beat the Warlord. Just for painting? Yeah, I know. For painting, it's fine. There's a lot of armor panels and a lot of weapon options. You can also get some really neat poses with, well, for the most part, neat poses with it, because it doesn't really have really great range of motion in the legs. If I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, it's a cool model. I like painting it and assembling it. I did like little, because I wanted to give it like large banners. So I used some brass strips for it to do that. It looks pretty good. God, I love the Warburger Nemesis Titan. Ugh. The fetal alcohol syndrome Titan. Gross. Nothing wrong with liking it. I just don't like it. Yes, thank you for sharing.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay, ham sandwich. Critique and feedback, please. This one is a whip. Finish the green armor and the flesh. Okay, so I'm not sure if you were here, but show us what you got. We prefer the miniature be finished because they can actually critique it better. But the green armor and the flesh looks pretty good. Highlights are looking pretty good. The highlights along the flesh are also looking pretty good too. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I want to see it when it's actually finished. Good weathering too. All the micro scratches and the brown on it. But yes, it looks pretty good. Can't wait to see it finished. Good job.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay, next up we got another miniature from Lunchbox. Feedback. Okay. So let us see. Huh, sorry. Okay, so as always, the skin looks pretty dang good. Some nice weathering. I think OSL could use some work. Weathering is good. The skin is also good as always. Good basing. I just think the OSL looks a bit weird. Might need a little bit of work on that. Not sure what. Maybe something to darken it, like darken it down a bit. Like a very thin down dark contrast, like just on the gun. It's like the gun housing itself, not the inner part of it. I don't know, that's just me. Something to blend all the layers together too, because the hard part about doing OSL when it's not with an airbrush is it's hard to make it look pretty good. Saturday night you paint. Shut up. Shut up, David. Shut up, you bitch. The cheeks on the orc. What? Okay. Hello, kitty cat. How are you? Hi. Hi. Hello, cat. Hi. Yes, it is a very nicely painted orc. A very nice weathering effects. All that kind of stuff. Again, I just think the OSL could use a little bit of work. But other than that, everything looks really, really good. It's a very nicely painted miniature as always. Okay, yes, cat, hello. Do not scratch up my chair, please. I would appreciate it if you do not scratch up my chair. Or to make him... Okay. wait, let me... Where's the shot from the... This could also use a bit of work too, the scar tissue. It's reading a bit too much the same color as the red hoses right here. So maybe use a different color for that, or put a red contrast over that, a dark red contrast. Claws also real good. Yeah, the claws painted really nicely. Painted very, very nicely. Yes, kitty cat, hello. Did you enjoy your nom-noms that you had earlier? But yes, as always... Ah! You bitch! How dare you? Yes, as always, Lunchbox. Very nicely painted miniature. Good job.
I like what you got. Good job.
Yes, cat, hello. This would be so much easier if you just sat in my lap, because I can pet you. Instead, you don't like sitting in my lap anymore. Hang on, let me check your collars. Your collars are too tight. No, that's fine. Okay. Sorry, having a distraction from the cat. The cat wants to be pet. The cat demands to be pet. Or else she will scratch up the back of my expensive office chair. And damage from cat is not covered under warranty. Tell her name's Chessie. It's a girl cat. Yes. I will tell the cat that later. Yes, are you done? No? Okay. Start painting Titus someday. I strip the paint off him and go start over again. Hey, come here, you. Will you sit in my lap if I hold you? Come here. Here, I'm trying to pet you. I'm trying to pet you. Okay, bye. I'm not gonna pet you anymore then. Okay, yes, thank you for sharing. Next up, we have from Laughin. Ready to feel inadequate, everyone? Love some feedback. Wanted you to push this more into display competition territory. You're already there. 2.5 months on. Also, first base I've actually spent real time on. Yes. Yes. Hello, cat. God, that blue. Yes. Yes, you're already there in competition territory. But like if you really want to get competition territory, you might want to, well, Golden Demon, if you're to enter this in Golden Demon, this would probably get commendable placement. It wouldn't, yes, cat, stop it. It wouldn't get, probably wouldn't get a trophy because you use decals. But for any other competition, this would probably be first place or top 3. I'm gonna pull a GW nitpick. Why didn't you do non-metallic? Well, here's the thing. You don't need to do non-metallic is the thing. You could still do regular metallics and make it look good, and then the rest of the miniature makes up for it. And the rest of the miniature did indeed make up for it. Yes, hello, cat. Yes, hello. Okay, yes, can you not block my screen, please? Hello, kitty cat, come here. Yes, very nice purples. Very nice little lines you did on the cape too. Little freehand lines, and it actually looks consistent too. Just pretty good. Cape could probably use a little bit more highlights, I think. Because when you compare the cape to this, you have all the different shading and color blending, and then the cape looks a bit flat. Golden Demon would also ask for smoother blending. Yeah, they would. Yeah, this is already competition level. You're already there. Just not Golden Demon level, because Golden Demon... My problem with Golden Demon is Golden Demon has just turned into Nitpick Demon. Because that's all it is, just nitpicking. Other painting competitions actually celebrate painting and all that stuff. But yes, this is a very, very nicely painted Space Marine. For the base, what you need to do is you need to clean up the base rim, and also, if it's going to be a competition piece, you want to make sure the base is clean, like the edges, the base rim is clean. So either after it's primed or when you're putting texturing paste on it, what I would do is after you prime it, or like I said, when you put texture paste on it, to keep it clean, you either want to, well, actually no, you're going to be sanding off any prime paint then. You'd want to probably put some masking tape around the base, probably, just to keep it clean. But like I said, for competition piece, you're already there. This is a good competition piece. I'm not sure if the Kato part is free-handed or if that's just already embossed on the miniature, or if it's a decal. I'm not sure. But yeah, your color blending is there. It's really nice. You have good edge highlighting too. Although I can't tell if what's on the hand though. Well, actually no, it isn't paint coming off. I see a tiny little highlight. But yeah, this is a good piece. Really good. Probably top 3 painters in the server. Nice blends. Yeah, if you want to do Golden Demon, you're gonna have to learn how to do non-metallic metal and freehanding to not use decals. Oh, freehanded text. Okay. Okay, so then also is the banner a decal, and so is the thing on the shoulder pad? Since you're here. Awaiting your response. No translation. Okay, yeah. So if you weren't here for what I said earlier, if you want to enter this into Golden Demon, you want to replicate this freehand where it says Kato up here, because Golden Demon will knock you for using transfers. They like it better when you do freehand, which unfortunately sucks, but that's just how they are. Because Golden Demon is Nitpick Demon, but this is a good piece that will do fine in, that'll do really well in a local competition or just any competition that isn't Golden Demon. And I don't know if you heard me say too, but the cape I think needs some work because it needs a bit more color distinction, because all your regular colors, all the colors you use are kind of blending into each other or are too similar to each other that it's really hard to see the definition of the cape. Maybe. It might just be the lighting that's doing that, because you see how you have up here on the banner the clear like color transitions and everything, and it goes from dark up to brighter. This one you're just going from slightly dark up to brighter, or brighter to slightly bright to even brighter. And then also Golden Demon would also be assholes and knock you for not highlighting the inside of the cape. Rather than that, it is a very, very nicely painted miniature. You did a very good job on it. This would definitely place very high in a local competition or anything that is not Golden Demon. Very, very good job.
I like what you got. Good job.
Did I have this on here? I thought I did. I thought I had nice on here. I guess I don't. Well, I have it on Twitch. I know that. Okay, next up we have either one more or someone's posting something. Next up we have from Thundery Drake Gaming, first mini looking for feedback. Okie dokie, first things first, if we're gonna take a photo of your miniature, please do it where I can see it straight on. And another thing too, let's see, because first miniature, you're gonna want to thin your paints. You need to thin your paints, that's the biggest thing. Because I can see the brush marks on here, I can tell you didn't thin your paint. You also need to clean up some of the areas where you got some paint overspill, like on the shoulder pads with the green, and then also your purity seal too. Could also use some washes. Yep, definitely thin your paint. As I can tell, this is the free miniature you get to paint when you go to the GW store. So you're gonna want to learn how to thin your paints a lot better. You're gonna want to learn how to use some washes. Then also, I see you attempted to do highlights. Probably get a better brush than that for that. And I'm not... I think you're painting... This is salamanders, I'm pretty sure. Yes, this is overall just being neater and also learning the basics of, like, how to paint. So thinning your paints is the biggest thing here. And also probably not using a GW white paint is another thing. Other than that, it's a good first miniature. Looks pretty good.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay, now we're gonna wait to see if the one person who is typing in the chat is going to submit a miniature, because that was the last one. Okay, yes they did. So let me hide this and then I'll open them. 2 models looking for feedback. Okie dokie. Last but not least for now, we have Video Apollo. 2 models looking for feedback. Haven't done much OSL before and not my cleanest work. Just say only just saw the piggy. It is every other Monday. Okay, let's see. So, clean up the base rim, of course. Make that look nice and pretty. Looks pretty good, though. See, you got... I'm not sure if that's intentional, but you got a little bit of brown paint on his knuckles. Yes, it looks pretty good so far. Gonna want to clean up also the inner highlight too that you have right here. And I see you also forgot to paint a highlight right here on the ridge of his coat. So far it's just looking like cleanup highlights, I think. Because everything else looks pretty good on this. It's just make sure your highlights are a bit neater. Because it's not consistent right here or right here. Also need to fill in this right here. Face looks pretty good. So do the lenses on the eyes. I think this is mostly just cleanup and keeping your edge highlights consistent. Because the base looks good aside from needing to clean up the base rim. Highlights in the other areas are pretty good. It just needs to be a bit more consistent and neater. Because also I do see right here on the gun and also in some other areas too, the highlight isn't exactly very complete, or it's not as opaque actually. Yeah, I think for this guy it's mostly just cleanup. Your weathering effects you did in some, basically the shading you did is pretty good too. How do you submit your mini? You have to be in the Discord, but the Discord is 18 plus, or you could submit it under the community tab, the community tab on the YouTube. That works too. Yeah, that's Caiaphas Kane Kitbash. Oh, okay. Where is Jurgen then? Members Minis this Friday? Yeah, Members Minis was also this past Friday too. I looked at your miniature then. Yeah, this guy looks pretty good. Just mostly cleanup is what I think it is. What it is, cleanup and being consistent with your highlights. The shrine is Jurgen. Oh, okay. Good. Next miniature. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. This miniature looks good.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay, this miniature. Why do I feel like his face is? I feel like his head is on wrong. No, it's on correctly. It's just the arm is weird. But okay, this miniature. Face looks pretty good. Again, your highlights are not very consistent. Yeah, highlights aren't consistent. Not very thin either. Just, I think you need a new brush. You probably might need a new brush for the highlights. Is what I think it is. You're gonna do highlights. Okay, so the OSL looks okay in some areas, other areas not so much. Hello, Murph, how you doing? So you're not gonna really get like a blue color right here, and also if you're doing OSL, it's not gonna be as bright or the same color as it is closer to the heat source. So you'd probably want to do is you'd probably want to use a little bit darker of a color, and also be a bit thinner with your paints too, because doing OSL with a brush, you gotta do a bit of a glaze. Okay, so OSL is fine on the hat for the most part, because the light source is going to be going up to there. It's just, again, you want it to be a bit darker. It isn't going to be the same color as it is right here. So it's fine if you have a little bit of OSL on the face or the hat. It's fine, but it just needs to be darker. It wouldn't really be right here. It would be on the fingers, yes, but again, a little bit darker for that. It's not going to really show up right here or right there because the gun's kind of blocking it. It's mostly going to be either on the, like, a little bit on the brim of the hat or on the upper area of the hat. Not really right here. Or if it was, it would just be incredibly dark. It'd be a lot darker. And damn, that's the last miniature. Not really much else. But it's very nicely painted. You did good.
I like what you got. Good job.
Yeah, that's it. There's not really anything else. I mean, yeah, I think I already looked at all the stuff in the stream what you're working on too. Yeah. Wait, please. Why? Is there stuff in the community tab? I forgot to check there. Let me go check the community tab. To the community tab. Let's see. Posts. To the community. Yes, there's one in the community tab. There is one. Can I make these images a lot larger? Although it needs to say either feedback or critique. But I mean, since it's there, I guess we can look at it. I'm going to hide this real quick because I had to go check it on the other one. Ah. Yeah, critique, please. Okie dokie. Say no more. Huh, 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 huh. Community. Can I open the image in a new tab? Yes, I can. Okay, thank you, YouTube. Ducky, we have another one. Kiss. This will probably be the final one because I don't see anything else. So let me turn the sauce back on. So let's look at this miniature. So it is a World Eaters miniature. So first things first, you need to clean up your base a bit more. You need to clean the base rim. To clean the base rim, make sure there's no little microfibers also on any of the viscera that you do. Hey Lurker here, can I post a couple of minis on the community? Yes, you can. You can post them on the community tab. I'm just gonna do this real quick so that way I can go to the community tab of my channel too. Just in case anyone posts anything else. Hey, it's also recently hit 30,000 subscribers too, everyone. And also this is why, if you want to know why there hasn't been a new video in 3 weeks, this is why. New video is 30 minutes long. We will get back to that. Yes, back to the miniature. No, David, that's kind of too far along to do that. It's several hundred subscribers later. Well, I might play Rivals this weekend. We're gonna post them. If you're in the Discord, you post them in the Show Us What You Got channel. If you're on the YouTube, you can just post in the community tab. Missed do newest. Okay, but yeah, okay, so wait a bit, okay. How long is a bit? Because if you're finishing it up, that might be a while. Because we've only got a few more miniatures left. Yes, back to the miniature. So if you're also going to be painting blood too like you have on the axe, it's not going to be... Hang on, I'm getting a text message. Okay. Obvious goal for next year. Or maybe this year I'll hit it. Never know. Already done. Okay. Okay, so back to this measure. Yes, so if you're gonna do blood effects, blood is never really this bright. It's usually going to be kind of the same color that you have as the viscera right here. Like, yes, fresh blood is gonna be bright, but over time it's gonna start to get darker, and it's not gonna take that long for it to get darker either. Yes, I know, I saw them on the community tab. You don't need the basing material this far up the cape, if I'm gonna be honest. Celebrate on Lenore. Well, I'm gonna eventually, probably what I'll do after I do all the 10th edition of it. Sorry, after I do all the 11th edition videos that I want to do, is I'm gonna do a Warhammer 30K special, a Horus Heresy special, end of the year. But then. Me kicked in, yes. Because if I keep posting videos and I just get that one video to pop off, that gets several 100,000 500,000 views. I should get like 10,000 or so subscribers from it. Got cornbread though, we'll try and mix it. Do you have Nuln Oil? If you have Nuln Oil, just mix a bit of Nuln Oil in it and that'll fix it. And it looks like you have some kind of gloss varnish. Even Blood for the Blood God works too. If you have that, just put corn red on that area and then like put like Blood for the Blood God over there, but very sparingly. Yes, this looks pretty good. Your weathering effects are pretty good. The other colors you have on are pretty good. Just don't get the texturing paste up too high on it. You don't need to get it that high. Other than that, you're doing pretty good. And maybe probably also put a bit of highlights on the helmet too, on his back too. Use white cap Tamiya cement. Tamiya cement. I wouldn't do that. Don't do that. Don't use that. Get an actual varnish. Okay, and then you also have varnished. Okay. What is this? This is Barb. I don't remember what the name of this miniature is. So for this one, I think you might have gone a bit too heavy on the wash. Is what it looks like. Yeah, for this one, I think you went a bit too heavy on the wash or contrast or whatever you used. Because it is very, very, very obvious. So this one probably go a little bit easier on the wash again. Clean up the base rim. Paint it whatever color you're going to paint it. The blood on his face just looks like normal paint, so probably don't do that. Is that supposed to be an eye? I can't tell. Whatever. Yeah, for this thing, I think what it is just you went a bit too heavy on the wash. Definitely went a bit too heavy on the wash. But other than that, the miniatures you submitted look pretty good. Very nice. Thank you for sharing.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay, let me hide this and open up more miniatures and refresh the page. See if I'm posted more. Being criticized for the wash. We shall see. How many miniatures did he submit? Okay, this is gonna be quite a bit of miniatures. It looks like from Murph. Okay. Let's see. Got that one. And here's another reminder, for the love of God, you don't have to hold your miniatures. Put them on the table, please. And also make sure the miniatures are in focus too. That's another thing. No problem. Okay, so yes, also make sure they're actually centered too. So for this Krieger, he looks pretty good. I just wish it wasn't blurry and it was in focus. Base material looks pretty good. Base rim looks pretty clean. Can't really tell though, because like I said, this is not in focus. Can tell there's a bit of weathering here. I could see some highlights on it. This guy looks pretty good since it's just gonna be basic guy. This is out of focus. Again, please, for the love of God, you don't need to hold your miniatures. Text looks pretty good on this. Skull's shade has looked pretty good. Lens is pretty good. Needs basing material on it though. This guy I think needs to be cleaned up. Huh? Pretend what? Well, mine because of the focus and lighting. Okay. Even a flashlight will help. Yeah, I think problem I'm having with this one is the skin tone feels like it's a bit too close to the color of the mask. So probably change that. Probably do a bit better on the highlights. Oh, excuse me. Better on the highlights for the cloak. We'll fix that. This guy, base is pretty good. If we clean the base rim, base material looks pretty good. Let's see. You need another tone for the highlight right here on this guy. Because it's a very harsh transition right here. So you'd need to do a 50-50 mix. If you're gonna do it, well, if you're gonna do it this thick on, like, you're gonna do it this bold for the highlight, what you want to do is you want to mix more midtones going between each color, which is just do 50-50 mixes between each color. So 50-50 of your base color, you do 50-50 of your base color and the secondary color right here, then you do the secondary color, and then you do a 50-50 between the secondary color and your tertiary color, and then you do the tertiary color. Or you can just do the 50-50 of your secondary color and the tertiary color, and that should be fine. But the color transition between your primary color, which is your base color, and your secondary color is a bit too harsh. But everything else looks pretty good. Plasma effects looks pretty good. Yeah, kind of like how right on here, this looks a bit better than right here. So whatever you did right here, or it might just be the lighting that's blending it in better, do right here and right here. But this guy looks pretty good too. Yeah, plasma effect looks pretty good. Okay, actually, yeah, I can see it looks the same on the other side too. So yeah, it was just the lighting that was helping you. So you're gonna want to do more color mixes if you're gonna do it this. If you want to do it right here. Also, the color on the hat looks a bit too... The top of the hat, you might want to thin your paints down a bit more for that. Okay, yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, this looks pretty nice. This is nice. I like this. Very nice, although... I can see the outline from the decal, so you might want to... If you don't want that to happen, use Microsol and Microset, and use it a lot to thin that, to get rid of that, to blend it in, because I could also see it on this decal too, and it's not... doesn't look very good. And also too, I can kind of see, I think that might be... Well, I can see a mold line obviously on the tires. So for future reference, please get rid of those on tires. And then also I can see a sprue gate right here. So fix that too. Other than that, this looks pretty good. Just fix the decals and mold lines. So yeah, this looks pretty good. And also dust your miniatures before you take photos too, please. Looks pretty good. Okay, this guy looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, pretty good. Pretty decent highlights. It could be a bit thinner in some areas. Maybe an additional highlight, secondary highlight, like you did right here on him, to also help too. Face looks pretty good. He's seen some shit. That's for sure. Yes, he is very grumpy. He has seen some things. Yeah, this guy looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. It's just I think he might have also put the paint on a bit thick on his shoulder pad too. Right here, because I have no idea what's going on right here. Well, that leaves some pretty nicely painted miniatures. Good job.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay. I did not see. Okay, so next up we have from VRAM Tyranid Prime. Okay. I mean, of course it did. I'm not gonna stop suddenly unless there's like 100 miniatures submitted, then of course I'm gonna have to stop. Because then I'm not gonna be able to do it for that long. Yes, okay, so... I mean, the wash you did isn't that heavy as the other one. It's not that bad. You might want to put some wash in the recesses of the wing folds, though. I can see the wash on the blue, I just can't see it on the folds of the wing. You also... What you want to do is probably highlight those too. There's a little bit of highlights on the thing, and then... I'm looking at the base. It looks weird. I think it's because you're using aquarium sand or something. Yeah, you're gonna want to do some highlights on the wings. Make it look a bit better, but not too bright. Although skin texture on a wing membrane is typically gonna be brighter because of the light that shines through it, so that'd actually be fine. But looks like it looks pretty good. I don't know, I just don't like the basing material because you didn't really put wash on it, and it looks... The way it looks compared to the rocks is a bit weird, if you get what I'm saying. Plus also, you didn't get it over the entirety of the base. But yeah, for the wings, you don't really need to slather wash all over it. What you can do is you can just like recess shade with it, and it'll help it stand out a bit more, and that should be fine. Well, yeah, this is pretty good, And also could use some highlights on the claws too. Yeah, highlight the wings. Put some highlights also on... Well, what I would do actually is wings, you can go pretty... You can punch pretty bright with the highlights. The face, don't use... Like, if you were to highlight the wings, don't use all this, like... All the... Like, go all the way with the highlights. Because then it'll look the same. So either... Okay, the music stopped too. Ugh. Don't just don't use the exact same highlights on the face. And also you did get a bit of overspill of the yellow on the horn right there that I could see. So fix that up right there. Other than that, it's a decently painted, it's a pretty good painted miniature. Good job. You did very nice, very nice.
I like what you got. Good job.
Okay, I think that might be everything. Oh, we have another one. Okay. I have another miniature. Okay, we have... Okay. So next up we have something from Suited Spaceman. So... Gracier and Boss Knob. First minis for my Skaven and Orc Army. Knob isn't base yet. I haven't figured out what to do. Orcs yet. Photos might be blurry. I don't know, just my device. Probably is your device. Probably also what you can do is you can also just hold your phone a bit further back is what you can do. And that'll help a lot. Okay, so... Oh, sorry, excuse me. From what I can see... What, David? The Boss Knob and also the Skaven. I think there might be something going on with the primer you're using. Might be a bit too humid or hot. So it's drying before it gets on the miniature. So warm up the can in some warm water. Good stream. Paint's need a bit of thinning too. Yeah. Paints are a bit too thick. Paints are a bit too thick, it looks like. In some areas. Other areas, it looks fine. I like the green skin on the orc, though. That looks pretty good. Need to probably paint in the eyes. Some areas and colors are blending into each other a bit too much. Like, the orc's, like, body, like, the brown is blending into his boots and stuff. Same with the gun. These colors are blending into each other a bit much. And then also you want to... I can't tell if you used any washes either. On the orc. Yeah, some of your colors are blending in a bit too much. Then for the Skaven, your Grey Seer... I think it's a bit of the same issue too. Colors are blending in a bit too much. Just the photos being blurry isn't helping really. It has 2 good priming, like here. Luckily I have an airbrush now. Yeah. So if you have an airbrush, yeah, that'll help a lot better. Make sure you actually get airbrush primer. So like something from Vallejo. Get their surface primer. Their surface primer is pretty good. You just might need to thin it down a bit too much. Yeah. Might need to thin down their surface primer a little bit. But yeah, some areas are looking a bit too samey, a bit too flat. Have that primer specifically. Ah, okay. Very good, very good. Yes. Double L is like a Y. Well, here's the thing though. This is... I pronounced it like that because years ago when I first started streaming, some idiot came in the stream and said Vallejo is pronounced Vallejo because they're based in Spain. And then we're like, motherfucker, Vallejo is from New Jersey. So originally you should actually say Vallejo with a New Jersey accent. So stuff it. Kind of thing. So yeah, that's the story of how I say it like that just to spite whoever said that years ago. Yes, other than that, pretty good job, looking pretty good. Just thin your paints and also the priming thing too, yeah. Okay, let's see, is there anything else that has been submitted in the community tab? Nope, that looks like that's it. So I think that, what is that? Who just threw something at me? Walrus threw a ducky at me. Yeah, that looks like that is it for Show Us What You Got. Thank you for the hydrate, Walrus. Oh boy. Next, Show Us What You Got in 2 weeks. That is, unless I post the video in 2 weeks. It's going to be the 10th week of Show Us What You Got. Oh boy. But thank you everyone so much for sharing your miniatures. Thank you to all the new faces for also sharing your miniatures too. Really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for showing up too. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be back. Skaven and orcs are very complicated. I've learned I'd like to paint later. Maybe I need to have a quick painting session after. Yes, but thank you everyone for sharing all that jazz. I will be back on Wednesday, continuing to assemble the Night Atropos. So if you'll excuse me, I have to go continue editing that 30-minute video some more. So hope everyone has a very nice rest of their day, and I will see you on Wednesday, hopefully. Goodbye.